Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. That gets some light on the situation here. Good morning. I got a lot to talk about. I got a new camera, which I think is not actually the one that you're looking at. Yeah, what a dumbass. Let me fix it. Check this out. I got a new camera over the weekend that does this kind of shit. Look at it when I move. Like the camera moves with me, right? It's like a TV show. There's a little bit of lag to this thing, right? A little bit of lag to it, but it's really cool. I got to figure out why I got the lag. But anyway, it's kind of fun. New toys for me. So let's get into it, guys. We had a fun weekend, and I had a good session this morning. I want to talk to you about a few things. I think the first thing we're going to get into here is a quick review of the paycheck. Now, look at that lag. Wow, there's so much lag. I may have to go to the other camera because that's annoying me. Which, if it's annoying me, I'm sure it's annoying you all. So let me change that because I got to figure out what's going on. I want you to see it. We'll go back to here. All right. So the odds maker this morning, boring, right? It's a boring one. It took me 47 rolls to get home today. But at the end of it, we hit the home run. Like these strategies, like the come place line, don't pass strategies, especially when you're combining both sides of it, you're kind of waiting on the miracle. And it eventually comes. The miracle sometimes comes. Today it came, right? At the very, very end, we caught it. We hit our point. We hit the don't, and then we had the come out 11, and then everything paid off, and we made like $900 in like 2 seconds. It was cool. I wish that would have happened on the first 5 rolls instead of the last 5 rolls, but whatever. We never sweated today, right? We were never down more than a couple $100. For 47 rolls, we did this, right? And then we got at the very end. Welcome to house edge gambling. That's what it looks like. Those low house edge bets, like the 6 and the 8, the pass line, they win as much as they lose, and they don't win very much. They don't lose very much. You're going to do this all day long until you hit it, right? PJ, who's a good friend of mine, I know you guys think that we don't like each other, but we actually do. His thing, and he will preach it till the day he dies, I'm sure. The pass line with odds is a great bet, and it's a home run play. You're gonna tread water, hit a home run, and then you got to get out. And that's kind of how today went. So it was fun to do it. We'll do it 5 more days. Again, I don't want to think too much this week. I have a lot of math to go through this week, and it's going to be a bit of a pain if I have to think twice. So anyway, there's that. As far as what else is happening, we had a mistake on Friday Night Fights. Tough time getting a hold of Colonel Potter during the day. I think he has a weird work schedule, and I couldn't get a hold of him. So getting him to it was. At 5:45, we're still trying to find players, and we couldn't get it done. So this week, we'll make sure we start earlier in the process and make sure we get it done and have a battle like we're supposed to have for Friday Night Fights. So it's going to be Jason, by the way, playing against Colonel Potter on Friday night. And this is probably going to be one of the last episodes because we have Christmas coming up. So it might be the last one of the year. We might bring Nemo in and have Nemo play somebody on the last one, like a special episode, maybe like Nemo versus Vince or something. I don't know. We'll do something crazy on the December 30th, which is the last Friday. Craps chat last night was fun. I had to leave early, so I didn't catch the end of it. Hopefully you guys didn't talk too bad about me after I left, but that was a good one. Good, lively group. That was a great season. We had 22 episodes of that. Is that right, Skill and Jeff? 22 episodes. It was awesome. It was really, really awesome. It was so much fun. They did a great job with that thing. All year long, it's been a great every 2-week thing. I think we could do it every week, but I know I can't spend people's time for them, but we all love that show, and it was super fun last night. It was great. Vince is saying if I use 5K. Yeah, the thing is, Vince, I literally plugged it in yesterday and went, oh, this is cool. The camera's got 1 billion settings on it. It's actually, if I could show it to you, it's this big. Like, here's the case for it. It's so tiny. It's an OBSBot. It's a great little camera. I just turned it on and went, let's see what happens. So I'll mess with the settings later on and see what it does. It's neat little piece of technology, and it's a 4K camera, so it picks up a lot of stuff. It's got a built-in background thing, so it's got all the cool stuff. So anyway, I'll play with it today and look at the lag fixed for tomorrow. So let's get into it. We have a guest today, and I teased it in last week. We're going to bring in our good friend Victor. You know him as Oasis Vic in the chat. He's the guy that drives me nuts every day, right? We always had this great banter back and forth of, the house edge and everything else. But I think Victor's a great guy. I like to poke buttons, and I think Victor, being a New York guy, likes to poke buttons too. And we've had a couple of good little chats here. So I'm going to bring him on and let him say hello to you. Hold on one second. Let me get to the next screen. And there is Victor, or the blob that is Victor. So Victor,
Hi.
say hello. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, John.
I'm going to close my door. My
Well,
son's actually out there sleeping. So
oops, sorry about that.
that's my fault.
Get the desktop up. I mean, we might as well start with the topic.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question, John. Do you believe in variance?
Oh, I'm a huge believer in variance. You've watched my shows. You should know that for sure.
Well, the chi-squared test is just adding up the population variance of the different, die complementary faces or axes. That's all that is. So let's get down to it.
Sure thing.
And all right.
What I'm going to do is, so folks know what's going to go on here, I'm going to actually make these a lot bigger. Like a lot bigger. And what Victor wants to talk about, so we might have Victor on a few times. And I think some of the things that we have talked about in chat and also in comments on some of the videos, especially when it relates to dice, and this is going to be more of a dice influence conversation than anything else today.
Oh yeah, but it also applies to regular craftsters too, of course.
Sure,
because
sure.
people do follow variance. I mean, that's
exactly.
Way.
I think when you say it a lot, you'll be like, no matter what video I'm shooting, whether it's the dice control practice or whatever, you always pop in there with, hey, the chi-squared test will get you home. And I'm always fighting back saying, hey, but I need the 10,000 rolls. And I don't need the 10,000 rolls to give me the variance. I need the 10,000 rolls to practice. And to show that over time I'm doing something. The chi-squared thing is much more of a short-term look at what's happening in a rolling window. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So let's just talk about the background, because I think that a lot of people say, well, why would I need a test?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, first of all, my own background, I started with roulette in the casino, and then like the early 90s, I ended up with playing craps. I mean, John Patrick was doing his thing, and then of course, Frank Scobletti was doing his thing, and it got to the point that I played craps a lot more. And because I was also doing advantage play with roulette, I got into advantage play with craps. And, I got to the point where, I thought, I think I'm a good enough craps player and DI. But, I have no way of quantifying what I'm doing, right? Unless you're talking about your bankroll.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, we do, my background is in science. My master's degree is in science, and I have a postgraduate degree where I was required to do a research course, research studies, basically. So I do understand how to apply statistics. Now, our problem is this, we're not going to do 10,000 rolls at a table, most of us. I mean, if you're John, yeah, you'll do it because you're stubborn and you'll do it every day. It's just the way you're built, and that's good. That's a good thing. But at the table, we're limited. I mean, nobody is going to have, 100 roll hand, at the table when you're there. It's just not likely, and it won't be you either. I mean, we're talking about probability.
Right. Yep.
Most shooters average 8.5 rolls. So you need to come up with some method if you're trying to understand, how well you're shooting, as a DI. Are you on axis if you're an on axis shooter, or are you freezing faces if you're a stacker? Okay. Mm-hmm. And those are some pretty easy questions to ask, but tough to answer if you understand that anytime you do serious statistical work, it has to be valid, and it has to also work in unusual circumstances. Now, for the craps player, I can get it to work in 15 rolls. Okay, after 15 rolls, you can actually come up with a significance level of how you're doing as a crapster. Of how much variance you're putting in to the three categories there. So if you look at that top one there, where it's just the tallies,
Hmm.
it
Right
says
here.
in intervals of 5 rolls. Yeah, you'll see that. Okay, so I since there are 2 dice, each row will have 10 total entries. So there are 3 columns: the 1 6, the 2 5, and the 3 4, and those are the complementary die faces that make up what we think of as the axes, or the opposite die faces. They always add up to 7. So after 5 rolls, 2, 4, and 4, this actually looks like a pretty good roll for inside numbers. And I'll explain myself later
Okay.
once we use the hybrid test set. And now your second 5 rolls. Okay, now we see that this is a pretty good 5 roll set for outside numbers. I'll explain that later too, because there's theory behind this. And it's pretty simple, but we'll actually have to get to the hybrid test set to explain it.
Hmm.
And now finally we come to the third set of 5, 3, 1, 6, and this too would be good for outside numbers according to my new set theory. But notice that we now have 10, 10, and 10. So, and there are 3 different
Hmm.
groups, 3 populations we're looking at.
Right. So
So we now,
to
so
back
we
this up
now
again,
have,
I want to make sure we back this up. Hold on one second. Let's make sure we
yeah,
have everybody on board with what we're doing here. So this right
right,
here, this right
yeah,
here is 5 rolls,
right.
right? That's 5 rolls.
And
This is the next 5 rolls,
I notice that
right?
I'm tallying in both die faces. I am not distinguishing left from right.
Right.
And there's one important thing about this kind of a tally. It only tallies top faces. Okay, so there's no assumption about axes or anything else. It's just what's
Hmm.
on top.
Right. So you're
And
looking. So if I were to roll, so if I were to roll these numbers, let's just. I want to make sure folks know how you're getting to this right here because it's kind of confusing, right? If I rolled,
they're
for
tallies.
example, yeah. So if I
They're
rolled
paired dice.
in 10 rolls, we rolled a 5 1 6, we rolled a 3 2 5, a 4 1, a 4 3. I don't know what. Give me some more numbers here, like
Okay, just anything. A 3. Yeah, okay, that's
a
5.
6 4.
Okay, remember,
There's
5
5
rolls.
rolls, right? This gets
Yeah,
tallied up as
right.
so you're looking at the total number of the faces, right? So we had one, one,
That's
five,
total. That's the popular. Well, that's our sample. Okay,
right?
but take a
So
look now.
the first column is the 1 6. We have 1 2 3 in the first
Yeah,
column,
go
right?
ahead. Yeah.
The
So
second
you
column,
put
which
3.
is the 5 2 column, you'd have 1 2 2 in that column. In the third column,
Okay.
which is the 4 and the 3, you'd have 1 2 3 4 5 of those. And that adds up to 10, obviously, because there's 5 rolls. That's how these columns on the left were created. You looked at rolls in groups of 5, like this, tallied the faces, and you have your left-hand side and those 3 columns. So from a construction standpoint, that's how we got there, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I want to make sure everybody sees how that played out. So as you're talking about what you're looking at in here, we know how we got there. And that's an important bit to see. So I'll let you continue.
Now, what's good about this? Listen, you also have to explain to people you can't use electronic devices at all at the table.
That's right. That's right.
I tested this out in Atlantic City, by the way, in live play. I was trying out one of my new sets and so on. But I wanted to see if this method worked in live play. And with one of those little, I guess, golf pencils or Keno pencils.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
And I had an
I
index
can picture
card.
this. I can picture
I
you
just
doing
needed
something
three
like this.
columns.
Yeah, right.
And I was doing like strikes. But I could also
Like,
do
like check, check,
dashes too.
check,
Yeah, checks and
check,
dashes.
like that. Yeah, totally. I can see you doing that right now. You can see
And if I wanted
visually
to,
what you're doing.
yeah, and I could also do it left and right. So I could do a vertical and a
Mm-hmm.
horizontal line.
Yep.
One is left, one is right, or top and bottom, however you want.
Sure.
Although I group them all together because it should work just as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's get to the point. So I have three rolls of five dice rolls. I
Yep.
can now perform a test. And you say, what the hell am I talking about? Well, in serious fields where you have to write reports with numbers that need significance levels with them, and even
Mm-hmm.
error terms if they apply, we have a significance level for crapsters in 15 rolls,
Yep.
0.05. Yes. In
Okay.
15 rows, you can see if your P is equal to 0.05, or what I call 5% of the times you'd see something like this. Okay, that's how
Mhm.
likely it is. Or 1 out of 20 times. That's how
Okay.
likely you are to see that kind of an outcome. And so I did this for one of John's tosses. And you can see it's for his craps paycheck 11/14/2022.
I'm going to zoom in here a
He
little
was
bit too so
rolling
we can get,
randomly.
yeah.
So
So,
this is you. I want to take a snapshot of you
yep.
rolling random.
These three are right here, correct?
Correct. They're
So
the
those
first.
first three, that first set of 15 is this first line right here, because you can see that you have 10,
Right.
6, and 14. That's 10, 6, and 14 coming down. That's where these
Yes.
came, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Let's make sure we have that
Now let's do the
pointing
next
through.
group of three
Okay?
rows. Let's do the next 3 rows because this is where it gets interesting. Next 3 rows.
Yeah, let me get rid of that. So next three rows here.
No, 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 no. It starts from 514,
Oh, you're
316,
right, you're right, right.
415.
That's a C. I forgot about that. These do
That's the
overlap, right? So
travel.
your next set of three is actually these three.
Yes. So now it's
514,
every
316,
5 rows.
415, and that comes into this one here, right?
So
This
now
second
once you've
three.
broken 15, yeah.
Yep.
Once you've broken 15 rows, you can now do every 5 rows. You can get a new significance test. Now,
Yep.
what this is 6.8 is significant.
Mm-hmm.
A
Because it's greater than
significance-
5, right? Greater than
Yeah,
0.05, right?
yeah, or 5.991 is significance of P equals 0.05
Mm-hmm.
with 2 degrees of freedom, which is the type of chi-squared test we're doing here. But I'm
Yep.
showing you it's easy to do. And here's the thing. I mean, I even have a significance level, a contingency table that'll tell you how easy it is for you to get there. For example, 14, 13, and 3 is a magic number here on these chi-squared cubes, these sums.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at some of these, um, one or two of them look quite promising. I mean, this guy, for example, right now we're on the second interview. It's 6.8. That has a
Yep.
significance level of over P equals 0.05. So, as a DI, when you see something like that, and let's say it's doing what you want it to do. Now, looking at this, I would say that is a good set for outside numbers, and it's significant. I would bet it. I would put an outside bet on it, 4,
Mm-hmm.
5, 9, and 10, because that's how you use this kind of information. It makes decisions
So
for you.
yeah, so what is the key? Because this is kind of squeezed in here, but you have the 1, 6 in the first column and the 4, 3 in the second column, right? Here,
Okay,
you're dominant here, you're dominant. Like I was really in that set
exactly.
dominant 1,
That's it.
6 and dominant 4, 3. So what you're going, I'm betting that.
Okay.
What is your advantage play
Let
on
me
the
tell
bet
you.
there?
I'll tell you exactly.
Yeah.
Tell you exactly how this works. A 3, 4 in my hybrid test set and test set theory. The 3, 4 is the top face you want to freeze the most. That those opposing faces, those complementary faces. The reason is, if you look in terms of stacking, freezing a face, and I have to show you tables to show you how this works.
Yep.
At another time. But you at least want one die to be a 3 or a 4, the top face, and then one die to be on the 1/6 axis. You only need one
Yep.
of each,
Yep.
and you will have an advantage on the box numbers. That's what this theory tells me. Okay, and I have to show you how to work that out. But
Well,
I mean, you can figure it out with your own tables.
logically it makes sense, right? If I have a 3 and a 4 on the top face, right? There are 0 horns in that, right?
Right.
That's the number one thing. There's no horn numbers there, right? I'm always looking for 1s and 6s only because I'm just stacking that way so
Well,
I
I
can
have
see
a
them
stack
easy,
for
right?
you.
I have
a
tons
stack
of
for you
horns.
too, but
I have tons of horns when I throw because I have 1s and 6s all over the place, right?
right, and you should also have a 3, 4 axis. Try for the P. No, the S6s. You know why I put the S6s down the side? Because of issues of what I want to hit. If I had the 6s on top and the 3, 4s on the side, on my Monty Hall, that would be a great don't pass field horn number set. So there are ways to describe this and to work this into your tosses. But right now, I'm just talking about looking at variance. Now, first of all, how do you get variance? And you got your pen?
I got it. Yep.
Okay, let's do the variance for the one that came out at 6.8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first write 12, 315 somewhere in a margin somewhere. 12,
I'll do it over
315.
here. 12. Actually, that's 2. We'll do 12.
Yeah, in a line. Yeah, 12.
3. Okay.
Okay, that's the observed. Now,
Yep.
now underneath the 12, it's 10, right? That's the expected. 10
Yep.
under the 12, right? 10 under the 12. 10.
That's
Okay.
that's a little small. So your expected is 10.
Yes.
Across all of them, the expected is 10.
And the observed observed over
Right.
that, right?
So you observed 12, you expected 10.
And
You
what's the
observed 3,
difference?
that's a difference of
The
2.
difference, square that.
Yeah.
Square that.
Square the difference or square the total?
Square the difference.
So it's 4. The difference is 2, you square it,
Okay.
it's 4, right?
Okay, divide that by the expected.
So 4 divided by 10,
It is 0.4.
right,
See how
0.4.
easy that is?
Yep.
That is the population variance for that column, for that 1/6 complementary
Mm-hmm.
die face. You have the variance right there in front of you
Yeah.
if you need it. Okay, the population variance. It's what did you get? 0.4?
It's 40%.
Okay, now let's do the next one, the 3.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 again. Okay, and that's 7, right? You're gonna get 7.
Yep.
So
Yep.
7 squared is what?
49.
49. So basically, so the first one was 2 times 2 is 4 plus
Yeah.
49, that's 53, and then that's going to be 25. Well, you got to add these guys up, all right? 15 minus 10 is 5, that's plus 25. So
Oh, I
when
see.
you
You're adding
up-
as you go across. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, and then you divide it by. What I usually do is I just subtract them from 10, add them up. I mean, excuse me. I subtract each term from the expected, right? So
Right,
12
so yeah.
minus 10 is 2. Square that. That's 4. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm gonna wait. Then I got
That's-
3 minus 10 is 7. Okay, squared. That's 49. So
Yep.
53. Now let's see what else we got here.
So 15
We got-
over 10. That's 5. Squared is 25. Right?
Add those up for me. Yeah, I may have gotten the number wrong. Okay, add that up.
So add those up there. So it's 4 plus 49 plus 25. It's 78.
Oh, it should have been 7.8. I'm sorry. I think I got that number wrong. Ooh, I got the tally wrong. So you're going to have to correct that 6.8 to 7.8. But it doesn't matter. It's significant anyway.
Okay.
Okay. And this is where typos come in. When
Yeah,
you
for sure.
charts like this. But they're still good. So you just figured out the variance for each particular column, right? After
Mhm.
15 rolls. And you also have a significance test that tells you, yeah, could be real, 1 out of 20. Now, if we keep looking down, down our various 15 roll samples, right, 15 roll
Mhm.
intervals,
Yep.
you'll come to one where you got 12.2.
Down there, yeah.
Now, if you look up, I have a little table that tells you what chi-squared value has what p-value. See, we're going for the very first one, 5.99, or a chi-squared test number of 6. Okay, the sum would be 6. Well, that would be 0.05, and anything above that would have a corresponding p-value. And of course, the p-value of 0.01, I would consider 1% or 1 out of 100. It would need a 9.21 chi-squared sum for that. But look at this value, 19.56. It's 12.2.
Right.
So we're getting up there. We're getting up there into the it's like less than 0.5%
You're
probability.
in here. You're somewhere in there on this one, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a DI, you want to see good chi-squared higher numbers here. In other words, you want the population variance, the sum of the population variance, to be above 6. That's all this is. This chi-square test, all these numbers are just the sum of the population
Right.
variance for
So
those three numbers.
I
That's
got to
it.
ask you a question. I got to ask you a really simple question. This is gonna come off as dumb, but forgive me for being dumb. A random
I taught for
shooter.
many, John. I taught for many years. There are no
Right.
dumb questions.
I know. I set you up for that. A random shooter is here,
Yeah.
right?
No, no,
That's Randy.
perfectly random. Yeah,
That's
no.
Randy.
But you were
That's
John,
Waylon's
John.
best
No,
friend,
no. Stop,
right?
stop, stop, stop. You were shooting randomly here, right? And that's yes. This is the averages. These are the expected, right?
Right. The expected
Because
values are 10, 10, and 10. If you're
if
literally
you roll
hucking and
two
chucking,
dice,
right?
if you roll two dice 15 times, you'll
Mm-hmm.
get 10 outcomes into 1/6
Right.
complementaries,
Yep.
and the
So
same thing for the two
anytime
five and
that,
three.
so I look at things like this one,
Yeah, yeah.
like this one down here, that one up there, where I'm chunking close to random. But anytime I see a non-10 and a significant non-10, like
Ah,
15, 19, 17, that
and here's the
is
question.
exerting influence
Here's the question.
if you're a
Do you
controlled
have an
shooter, right? Is that what
advantage?
we're saying?
You have an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You can have an edge as a controlled shooter, but it won't show up on a significance level of P equals 0.05, which is a standard significance level for most tests. Most of
Hmm.
us use that significance level if we have to deal with
Right.
numbers and convince someone that the numbers are meaningful. So yeah, you can be a pretty good shooter, but you won't show up as significance.
Right.
Now, what's the value of this? I mean, what's the point of all this?
Yeah. That's
Well,
the
what is a
question.
DI? Okay, as a DI, okay, first it's helpful to me because I know if I'm on axis or not, or I know if I'm freezing my faces enough, or if I'm a variance player, and I have been a variance player in roulette, I'm going to start chasing numbers. I'm going to start looking what bets to go to. For example, I told, oh yeah, this is inside, this is outside, and so on. I could keep doing that with this kind of a tally and test. And guess what? If I hit a significance level, make believe it's like 21, right? Double my bet.
Hmm.
You can do anything like that.
Yeah.
But here's the important point. Okay, and you always got to say this. One, casino craps is a negative expectation game. Learn to lose less, and then of course you can't prove cause and effect with this stuff.
Right.
Dice have no memory. There's muscle memory versus memoryless dice, and it's up to you to get those values to where you think they should be, or just push those values around with your crazy twisty toss, like John, and then chase them. Chase down. It's like chasing a ball almost. They throw the
Hmm.
ball, you go chase it, and chasing variance. You can do it with this
Yeah.
setup, with this talent.
Well, I'll tell you, when I'm doing this stuff, and this morning is a great example, right? This morning, I want to say my first 15, 20 rolls, I was probably here. I had so many ones and sixes in the first 15 rolls. It was insane,
Oh, no, no, you have a good
right?
toss. I see that. I see you
I
freezing
mean,
the top freezes all
there
the
are
time.
there are days where I get in these great pockets, and it's like, okay, you get in the pocket, and I've been talking to another subscriber of mine. He goes by the name of Myopia Movie is his handle, another mathematician, and I'm like, at some point we're gonna have a talk about what does it all mean, like 10,000 rolls in, all the chi-square tests we can do. What does it actually mean if it means anything? Because a 1% or 3% variance over random doesn't seem like a whole lot when you look at 10,000 rolls. But when you look at 15 roll chunks like you're doing here, which is what you're seeing at the table, in the
Yep.
moment, these things that happen in the moment, and here you're saying you're going to catch from here to here is only a 5 roll difference as you're going down
Right.
the line there. That's
Yeah.
interesting to see like how you can ride the wave or catch the wave that we talk about
Yeah. Right.
in
Exactly.
real time.
That's
So
how variance.
I think
I've
it's
done it on
fascinating.
roulette. You can
Yeah.
do it in craps. It's doable.
Yeah.
And now, but here's the thing, though. Remember, I also have a hybrid theory that's going to come along that works with this. I mean, I have a hybrid set, that I toss, dice, stacked, even though they're multi-hole.
Hmm?
It'll work with this because it's one of those sets. But I also have the hybrid test set that helps illustrate how this works, and you can, locate or feel good about betting inside or outside. Okay, box numbers. That's what this set looks like it's good for.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big box number better. You know that. I mean, I might
Mhm.
do the play 6 and 8 and line bets, but
Right.
apparently box number people would do well to at least see if this is their cup of tea. They may not want to do the chi-squared bit, but they may want to do a little tallying. Okay, just to get a feel for what's going on
Yeah.
at the table. So anyway, John. So what's your feeling? Are you ever going to be using this live?
I think this is
Here's the
well,
hype-
what I got to do is get fast at it. Like in other words, the calculation. If I can get the calculations quickly, because I'm looking for that thing, right? Because we talked about this last night in Craps Chat.
You don't even have. Yeah.
What do you do? So when you're at a busy table, right? And what do what are you doing when everybody else is shooting? And how are you spending your time and all that kind of stuff?
I'm
This
doing
is kind of the thing.
Exactly the same I would do for
Yeah.
myself if I saw some kind of advantage. And here's the hybrid test set. Open up the hybrid test set.
It's right there. It's on the top right side.
Yeah, make it bigger. Make it bigger. This is what.
All right. Let's go ahead.
This is where we're
Wait a
at.
sec.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So notice the 3-4 axes. Like I told you before,
Mhm.
it's important to have a 3 or 4, just one 3 or 4 on top.
Yep.
And it's also important to have just one die on the 1-6 axis. Okay, that's what this is telling you. Look at this. Look at the 3-4. I got a 4-9-5-10. I got a 5-8-6-9. I got 6-8, and that one lousy 7. But if I just have 1-3 on top, look at those numbers and 1-7.
Yeah.
I got 1-4 and 1-7. Oh, I can bet that. 1-5, 1-9, 1-6, 1-8, and 1-7. Oh, I can bet that.
These are supposed to be like
So-
this, by the way. I need to get these things so we can actually have them. There you go. That better?
Oh yeah, that's
So they
that's-
actually line up a little better so we can see what's going on there.
Yeah, I can. So the point. See, so these are
Yep.
the two. This is a 2 dice complementary set.
Yep.
And notice this. Notice this wedge here. This 5 out of 9 box wedge. I can actually use a technique from a totally different field, John. If I look at the variance in these 5 boxes, according to how Bell's theorem or Bell's inequality was tested, well, I needed these 5 fields. If I'm throwing my Monty Hall 3-4, 3-4 top faces with the straight 6s down the side, meaning 1-6 axis. It's a hybrid toss.
Yep.
So I'm using information from different sources to actually use these values. So you can back to the regular chart now, the chi-squared chart.
But you're
Go
saying
back to the tally.
so we can just highlight what you're saying. If you have a 3-4, right? Oh, that's the
Yeah.
wrong. Sorry, let me get
Yeah,
back. to
let's
my
go
pen here.
to the little
Right.
guy. Little guy.
So let's cut this out. So
Tally.
your 3-4 right here, right? That's your
Right.
that's your set, right?
Okay, so let's go to the tallies, please. The 3-4 tally. Can we go there,
Okay,
please?
that's over here, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you look at this guy, notice which die faces. Look, 3. This is the first 5 rolls. 2,
Yep.
5, and 3, 4. Guys, look at this. Here's your 3, 4. Here's the 2, 5. What are we hitting? 5, 8, 6, 9 inside. If you can keep that 1-6.
So this is the 3-4.
Low.
This is the 2-5, and you're saying that is going to be these two plus these two. Like this
No,
is
no, no.
this is the
No,
middle
no, no,
column,
this-
right?
this- yeah, this is the top. These are the top faces, right?
Yeah,
Let's say you got a
yeah.
3. Well, you look at this. Look at this. And you're getting a lot of 2-5s. You're going to get these guys. Look at this. You got 5, 8, 6, 8. You're going to get inside. So if
Yeah.
you see a 3, 4, 2, 5 inside. You see a 3, 4, 1, 6, however, guess what? Outside. Look at this. 4, 9, 5, 10.
Yep.
You see that? 4, 9, 5, 10. Up to 1, 6. So that's how you use this information. in live
Right. So
play.
the correlation here. So the correlation is this. If I'm seeing, let's pick a good one here. I'm seeing a lot of 3-4s and a lot of 1-6s here. Right.
Well, there's not
that's
a hell of a
putting
lot
us.
of them.
That's putting it here,
I'm a-
though, right?
Yeah, I'd be careful. No, it's more. Look at the other 3-4. Look at the other 3-4. 3-4, 3-4. You'll get a 6, 7, 7, 8. Look over there. You don't want too many 3-4s.
Right.
But yeah, basically, yeah. You're right. It will be the 4, 9, 5, 10.
Right. That's what I guess this when you're kind of canceling out the 5-2 column, you're going to end up
Well, no,
more
you want-
here or more there, right?
Now I'm canceling out the 1 6. Remember, I'm on axis. I
Hmm.
want more 2 5 3 4, so I have more inside numbers to play. So I can put up a nice inside bet, 4 units, and relax and just do my thing. Now, when I get to outside, I might have to get creative. I'm going to remove my place 6 and 8,
Right.
or should I just 4 and 10 hard 4 and 10?
See, it seems like when I'm looking at this with my throw is very much like the not a lot of 5-2s. The middle column for me is
So you're
generally
going
speaking
outside.
pretty
You're an
low.
outside shooter.
Yeah,
You're an
I'm
outside
definitely an outside shooter. Yeah, when you look at that, you look at this in here, and there's not a lot going on in this column. Frankly, it's
Correct.
interesting. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's why I came up. One, it's a tally. Two, it's a statistical test, a valid
yep,
statistical test you can do at the table yourself. And I can give you the values you need to look at to know if you hit significance, right? It's 14,
yeah,
13, and 3. Oh, and it doesn't matter which order, that's significance. 14, 13, 3, and better is significant, except for
hmm
15, 10, 5. You need 15, 11 for because 15, 10, 5 is only 0.5. It has to, excuse me, only 5. It has to be
right.
6 and above. So I think you understand how to use this now, John.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me,
It's when you first sent it to me, I was like, "What the hell am I looking at?" You're making it make more sense. I think what folks need to get more information about, I think, is this: how does the set correlate to this, and how do you make betting decisions? But I think I can see that now. I think I see how this plus that start becoming your pocket. Like, I always call it the pocket. What pocket am I in? Right.
right, or where
And
do I
this
want
is
to? How do you dial yourself into a pocket? That's
exactly.
the real trick.
And this is a way to
And
recognize
hopefully,
it. Now here's the thing, right? Waylon will tell you, and I can see him in the chat, like, I don't need no chart to tell me what's going on because I can see what I'm throwing, which is
correct.
true. However, in a longer run, over a couple of, you get the dice 3 or 4 times in a few hours, you
Tell
kind of
Waylon,
forget what's going on.
Tell Waylon, how does he know when to go all in? All right, that's what you call it.
Yeah.
We talk about you. When do you know how to double your bet? When do you
Yeah.
double your bet? Or when do you bet something you wouldn't bet normally, which I normally
Sure.
avoid outside numbers because I try to play a tight game. But if this thing is telling me, hey, outside is hot, I have to bet across or outside. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Wow. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat here. I'm going to put this up from Texas Crap Shooters. He says, this is interesting. He says, chat is off the hook. Math does matter, but it can be boring for sure, right? You can be a rhythm and feel player. Intuition is important as you've been through bad before your mind tells you what it's going on, right? To stop. But this is live information. This is not like charting a table like a random
It's
person
not
would.
bone tracker. Okay?
This is
It's not bone
targeted.
tracker. This
Yeah,
is
this
me with a pencil and an index card at the table
Yeah.
doing these kind of calculations
Mm-hmm.
really easily because I'm really just tallying. And
Yeah.
I know which column is hot. So I'd add tick
Yeah.
marks, right? You're just adding up tick marks.
Totally.
And since I know, what did I have to 14, 13, 3, that's all I had to remember, with the exception of 15, 10, 5. And I know I have significance, so I can double my bet. Hell yeah, I love this.
That's cool. I like that it gives you kind of an actual trigger. Now, of course, people will tell you, all the other math guys will tell you, well, it means nothing because the next roll of the dice is random. But you're in a variant. I believe I believe in variance. I think we all kind of believe that you're when you find a variant, you have to bet it hard.
Right,
So there it is.
But if I'm a DI, I'm causing variance now. That's the other question.
Well, that's the whole point,
Are you
right?
really causing variance?
Yeah, DIs are trying to create variance.
I mean, when
So,
you roll random,
Dice
you create
Degen,
variance.
I got a question for you from Chris, Dice Degen. Can you make these calculations in time to make a bet? Like, are you fast enough at this to get it done?
Absolutely. Yeah? I tried it in live play. Very easy to do. Very easy to do.
Yeah.
Because it's divided by 10. I'm just subtracting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then multiplying it by itself. and I'm doing that for 3 columns, adding them, dividing by 10. I'll know.
CRC is like it's kind of like card counting. Like you're kind of like +1, -1, +1, -1 squared.
I learned high-low years ago, and I know how to clock roulette wheels, guys.
Yeah.
I know these systems, so yeah.
That's interesting. I think and Vince is telling me, hey, you want you go ahead and make an app for it, but you can't have an app at the table. But I think the easy math on this that you can do in real time because it's small numbers. We can all do these numbers in our head because you're not talking about thousands. You're talking about 30, right?
And I think any DI can use them because you can check for on axis or face freeze. And my theory is showing that you only need one die on axis, the 1/6 axis, and one face freeze, the 3/4. And if you can do that, one die on axis, 1/6, one die face freeze, 3/4, you are in a really good place. You're in box number land. That's what I just showed you. I gave everyone the keys to box number land, even though I'm not a box number player.
Right. It's cool. That's cool. Wow. All right. So it's 5 and 9. We did a whole hour on this, dude. That's awesome.
Oh, we can do more. Trust me. But for now,
we could do more. What I'm going to I gotta cut it. We're going to go to work here. Let me go back to our other screen real quick. Here, interview. There we are. So yeah, I'm going to have to bust out and go to work. But I'm going to go ahead and put a summary sheet together. And tomorrow morning, I'll put a screen up that shows the calculations. Oh, there's my funny camera is doing its thing again. I'll put up the calculations and show folks how to do that math really quick tomorrow morning. I'll put a little box up and I'll put your logo on that and we'll make sure that everybody gets it. I know folks in chat, it's a lot. Math is like, right, and we're not all statisticians and have degrees. I don't even have a college degree. So for me to, get my head wrapped around this stuff, it's definitely, it's a stretch and it's difficult, but.
Excuse me. I mean, how many systems players are there amongst us? I mean, anyone who's played a system has had to keep track.
True. You got to know where you are. And again, it's, if you're a variance player, which I think a lot of people are, this is the way to kind of track that. Boy, that delay is killing me right now. I'm sorry. This is just driving me nuts. Go back to the right camera. There we go. If you're a variance player and you're creating variance and you want to know when you have it and what you're doing with it. Like sometimes you can say my dice are not doing whatever. This is showing you like where your dice are. I think it's actually interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and summarize that tomorrow. Again, I'll put a little thing up and we'll make that available. I think it's very cool. Yeah. John does not, California, you know what I have? I have a chef's degree. I went to 2 years of college and then I became a chef after that. And I'm completely self-taught as a coder and as a math person. It's 100% self-taught. That's why when I can bring Victor on, or I can bring on other people who do math like Shackelford and Myopia that can educate me and everybody else, it's good because it's official education. It's not just me seat of the pants understanding like I have this great feel for the game and I know the math that I know. But stuff like this, where there's actual like statistical relevance at certain numbers, that's the pieces that I just don't know. And it's good to have you on and explain that to us. I think that's where the difference is get made. So,
no, I'm happy to do it. Listen, and hopefully some other crapsters out there can find this helpful to them, because decision making can be tough at the table. Sometimes I don't know what to bet. I just don't, and this would help me to decide.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, man. All right, let's get out of here. I appreciate you coming on. I really enjoyed talking. We talked once before, and it was fun talking. It's good to have people like from chat in live. Like, it's fun. I think this is I think it's good, right? Get to know you a little bit more, and we'll have you on again and do some follow-ups for sure.
That's cool. Listen, there's plenty more where that came from. Trust me.
I know.
Plenty more.
I know there is. We haven't even talked about place bets yet. But we'll get there.
I'll tell you my theory.
We'll get there. All right, man.
John, listen, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you very much for being here, and you have a great rest of your Monday. Everybody else, have a great Monday. Let's go back to the other screen real quick, and I'll do an official goodbye. Where's my me picture? There we go. All right. Is that still the same goofy camera? It is. Why is it doing this? Anyway, I'll look at the fun camera. I'll just do it one more time so you can see it. It's trying really hard to keep me centered, and it's laggy, and it's fun, and y'all are awesome. It's just so funny to see it so slow. Y'all, I'll see y'all on tomorrow. Maybe tonight. We'll see. Oh, you know what? Tonight I'm going to a concert. I will not see you tonight for practice. We'll see you tomorrow morning, probably pretty hungover and hoarse. But yeah, y'all have a great night. Great Monday. I'll see you in the morning. Thanks again for everybody. And yeah, John's out. See you tomorrow.